guys. In this video, which is probably going to be one of many, I'm going to teach you a little bit about bash scripting. I find that I'm getting pretty good at it, so I might as well share something. I find that bash scripting is kind of hard to contribute in the Linux world, but it can be very, 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 very useful. So, let me get started. The terminal that I'm using is mrxvt. If you like it, you're more than welcome to download it. I am using Arch Linux, so running pacman s mrxvt as root. You might want to put sudo if you have privileges set up that way. This will install mrxvt. What I just did was redundant, but that's how easy it is to get this terminal. Okay, so you also are going to want vim, and as you would imagine, you can do that doing this. And again, it's already installed, but just to show you how easy it is. Okay, so now we have mrxvt and vim. Hasn't even been a minute, you have those both. Let's set a designated directory, that's what I have here, for your scripting adventures. And in fact, if you wanted to put your scripts into your path, you can run them globally just like any other application, which is really, really nice. You can designate your path and your bash rc. That's going to be right here. You can run this command on just about any Linux system. As you see here, I have path set for home Mac scripts. So if I create a script and I like it, I can have it right in my path. That means I don't have to be in my root directory, my home directory, and application directory. Don't need to execute the script in its directory at all or even a full path. I can just type the name and it will run. Very, very, very easy. And this syntax right here should work on just about every Linux system. So you can pause a video and put that into your bash script if you'd like. But okay, I'm jumping a little bit ahead of things. What I'm going to do is create two tabs. Control-Shift-T and mrxvt will give you another tab. They look different, but rest assured, they're different instances of bash. So on one side, I'm going to create my executable. On the other side, I'm going to run it. So I don't have to quit, try it, open it, quit, try it. Oh, that's redundant. I might as well work here. I'm going to make a script called scripts, or just script, no sense in plural, and be able to run it over here. Of course, it's not here yet. I have to write it. And I'll teach you a little bit about Vim in just a second. Here it is. So I can go between the two terminals really, really, really easy. And yes, for the record, I'm using a touchscreen. So you have Vim opening a file called script on the left tab, and you're ready to execute it on the right. However, script is not going to execute. Let me demonstrate. First off, if you want to run an executable that's outside of your path, you must execute it with the full path. And dot always means the directory that you're in right now. For example, I'm sure you know ls. ls dot shows you the same thing as ls, it's the same directory I'm in. ls dot dot shows you what's behind that. And I don't really care to reveal what's in my script, so I'm going to leave that at that. But anyway, this directory / script, that will execute the script if it was executable. Let me go into that with more detail. LSL. L means to list more options. As you see here, as my user, I have read-write privileges. Anybody in the group has read privileges, and I'm in Max group, user Max. And anybody at all still has read privileges, but there's no execute privileges. So let's give this script executable privileges. chmod will take care of that nicely. chmod plus x script. Now, if I do lsl, this is highlighted in green, which is again defined by my bash rc, and I'll show you where. But most importantly, look at the X flag right here. That means it's now executable. There's nothing in the script. So if I execute it, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be the same thing as if I hit enter with no commands. Notice it does exactly the same thing. And I promised that I would show you where that color part is in bash rc, so here we go. Is an alias. anytime I type ls, it's going to type ls color auto. And again, this is just details. But if I type ls color equals auto, it would do the same thing. You could say L. So right here, same thing here. ls is normally black and white. Anyway, back to the subject. So I have a script ready to be written over here. If you're writing for bash, which I'm teaching you to do, you're going to want to put what most people call shebang / bin / bash. And actually, Vim is intelligent. If you have your vimrc set up correctly, which is kind of like bashrc except vimrc, and I won't get into detail in this one, but you can put all kinds of stuff in your vimrc. Syntax enable, by the way, enables color, and because I'm about to right quit, I'm going to have to explain that in a second, and go back into it, it's going to recognize that it's bin bash and give you color vim. Very, very, very handy when you're writing scripts, and you will learn why. Let me teach you a little bit of what I'm doing with Vim real quick before I get too ahead of myself. Vim script is obviously going to edit script, so I'm doing that. If I type colon, I get the colon prompt. There's a number of things you can do here, but two of the most common things you're going to do, there's a couple of that may be more common, but when you're starting out, it's going to be write, you can write it, or quit, which is Q. You can also, and I press up and down to go through the history, you can also do write quit, which will write and then quit. And if you ever are making changes, by the way, you try to quit without writing, it's going to holler at you. It's kind of like the "Are you sure" version in the Linux. That didn't turn out well. But if you want to quit, you have to say "quit" with an exclamation point before it will do it for you. Okay, so you know a little bit about Vim. Let's do something very, very, very easy. Usually it's good to put a space. The easier it is to visually read your script, the easier it's going to be to debug it when there are problems. So get in the habit of developing your own style that makes sense to you. A good way of getting styles that will work is just read other people's scripts and see how it looks. You don't even need to understand it, but try to mimic it visually if it looks like it makes sense to you. If you can pick it up and think, this is hard to read, and pick up another one and say, this is a little easier even though I don't know what it says, follow what that looks like. So anyway, for the first script, let's put ls. Very, very simple. And I'm doing :W for write, and go to my other tab, and like before, script, it runs ls script. Let's go back to my other tab. Press insert. Insert will allow us to insert text. Space L, escape exits insert mode, :write, enter. Now the script is LSL. Let's run script again. I press up, hit script, it's running LSL. That's great. Also, notice, please, that it ignored the color. That's because you didn't source your bashrc. That's kind of a technical term, but that's why. You can look it up if you'd like. But let's put color equals auto. This is going to do exactly what your bashrc is doing, and in my case that is. Let's write out, go back to the other tab, press up, enter, and you get a colorized output on ls. Just to show you what you did here, you ran LSL color auto. Let's run that manually, and we already did this. You get the same thing. So basically, all a script is an automatic, and maybe more elaborate, less elaborate, depending on what you're doing, way of executing commands one by one, automatically. I'll follow up with a couple of other videos and get a little more complicated scripting going on. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in video 2.